Hi, dear colleagues. I am Marilia Verissimo Veronese from Porto Alegre, Brazil, and I'm presenting now my paper. So I'm presenting the paper Solidarity, Economy and Mental Health in Brazil, Producing Innovation through the Intersectoriality of Policies and Social Movements. The presentation is about the articulation between solidarity economy practices and the production of citizenship and autonomy among individuals with social psych suffering through the artistic cultural production. It shows a confluence between public mental health care, a public policy, and associated work as an alternative to labor insertion for these people in Brazil. There were fruitful intersections between social movements, public health care, and arts, especially now that Brazil faces a period of authoritarianism. It is very important for us to maintain these experiences. But how did articulation begin? It began from a fight, from a social movement, the Anti-Asylum Social Movement in the 80s, in the fight for a psychiatric reform and the disinstitutionalization of mental illness. We had a terrible situation in Brazil, and the Anti-Asylum Movement claimed to shut down mentally ill asylums, a new organization of the mental health care sector, and the integration of the mentally ill people into society because they were maintained in subhuman conditions, overcrowded into hospitals that were like a prison. The cadavers were also sold to anatomy laboratories at medical schools during the military dictatorship in Brazil. So it was a fight for democracy and for a different model of healthcare. It was, and we achieved some great results. In some cases, we had incarcerated bodies and we went through changes to liberated and free bodies. During the first Lula da Silva's administration, we had some important achievements with the movement to strengthen these cooperatives and associations. In 2005, there were the intersectoriality between national network of experiences on income generation and mental health work, the creation and consolidation of this network through the intersectoriality of the national mental health policy and the National Secretariat for Solidarity Economy policies. The creation of this articulation mechanism between the technical area of mental health and the solidarity economy policies created incubators that support, enable, and promote these initiatives to generate income and citizenship for these subjects. I'm presenting here two consolidated experiences. Geração Poa in the city of Porto Alegre, south of Brazil. Maybe you remember World Social Forum, Another World is Possible. It took place here in my city. I live in Porto Alegre. I am from Porto Alegre. And Carnival Parade Loucura Suburbana, or Madness Suburb. I will talk about it in Portuguese and in English. There were some differences, but I'll try to explain to you what it means. It's in the city of Rio de Janeiro, Rio, when Carnival is, you know, the most important popular culture fest. And these artistic cultural projects constitute ways of resistance to neoliberal policies and political setbacks in the mental illness disinstitutionalization policy that fights that I mentioned achieve great results, but now it is facing the risk of dramatic setbacks with Bolsonaro's administration. So we conducted a study through participant observations and individual interviews and some group interviews a little with the users of mental health care services. And we use photographs to record these sensitive realities. That José de Souza Martins states that image reveals the insufficiency of the word as a record and raw material of knowledge. So we have what Franco Rotelli called social enterprise as a process that goes far beyond this hospitalization. It also means a cultural movement, the construction of a new scenario in these policies. They have Geração Poa in Porto Alegre. They have their own shop in a cultural center, a cinema center, Cinemateca. So sometimes they work with the movies. They see the movie and they made an art, and it's very beautiful to see. They appropriating the languages of cinema. Some other arts they produce. Not everyone sees the world as you do. They talk about the differences between them in the group and with the other people, and they transform in art pieces. There's also a political dimension in these discussions. For instance, this piece of art, there were a huge debate between conservatives and progressists at Geração Poa. And they conclude that respect is for everybody and love is for everybody too. And they interact with clients, with other people. They occupy the city. They are citizens occupying the city. They go to theaters, cinemas, places that probably they wouldn't be allowed if not for the work they do and the intersectionality between the policies. At Rio de Janeiro, Loucura Suburbana work with music workshops the whole year, production of pieces of art, paper crafts, carnival costumes, music and theater. But the great event is the Carnival Parade, because it's a very important cultural party and celebration in all over Brazil, but in Rio, it's very special, the relationship that people have with Carnival. So they occupy the city, they play the Carnival, and they set their bodies free from the oppression of the walls of the asylum that, in this case, thanks God, doesn't exist anymore. That's a kind of revolution, the alive bodies, the free bodies, the history, the social history inscribed in the body. There are many possibilities in a society characterized by relational matrices that amplify exchanges and correspondences among subjects. So these policies represented the transformation of political culture in some way, and we have to fight for them. The cultural democratization represent important steps for innovation in social policies. State and civil society can do it together, and solidarity economy plays a very important role in this process. So now it's important to show and to maintain these achievements, because the official policy, of course, it was finished by Bolsonaro's administration, but the groups, the experiences, the public, it's still there. doing their job and trying to maintain it even through the pandemic. So they work a lot with Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And this year, the Carnival Parade was virtual. So it's a very difficult period, but we are trying to face the difficulties and to go through all of this. So thank you very much for your attention. You can contact me now. And I see you next year. Thank you very much.